Good afternoon, everyone. I am so glad you guys are here and you have made time. I haven't seen some of you some time. Oh, I can see NEF clients. Oh, it's so good to see people. I miss this. Oh, this is so good. I see people that I remember from other group. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wonderful. Everyone is here who's supposed to be here, who's ready to hear this. Good afternoon. I felt I needed to actually share a subject that we usually don't speak about quite often. Failing and not doing things the way maybe the world has perceived things and not work on things the way it should be worked on, the things that we stumble on. I thought it's about time maybe we talk about this because maybe we are looking at issues relating to business and finance without attending into this, because how you are in one area of your life is how you are everywhere. So, guys, get your notebook, get your questions. We are going to give away quite a few things. I want to give away a few of my coaching session with actually all of you, since it's a lot of people. I think I'm gonna keep this to the first 20. Denise, make sure the first 20 that have attended, please make sure that they schedule up our coaching session. I will dedicate 2 hours with you just to say, okay, which areas are you struggling with? What will be the best way, and provide some guidance. Thank you. This is a thank you from me, from you guys coming through. Yeah, that's 7,000 rand in your pocket. Yes, that is how expensive I am. So you better make sure you're ready with your notebook, you're ready with all that you can to prepare. Denise will take you through on how you're gonna need to prepare, but also so that I can also prepare on my side. So I'm quite excited about today. Guys, we are live on Facebook. We're also gonna be putting this on YouTube afterwards for anyone who wants to actually go through it. So I need you guys to give me a permission to record. If you don't want to record, please then take your video out and go and rename yourself. That is also okay. I guess for some of us, privacy is important. To some of us, we don't care. So, yeah, amazingly. Okay, so guys, I think I want to share why I wanted to do this topic. I have been struggling for the longest time on several things in my life. One of the biggest one that has taken me the longest. I mean, for me, even money did not take this long. Maybe being in a space of saying I'm financially stable, I'm financially independent, I've got some sort of financial freedom, has taken me way shorter time than this one. This issue. This issue for me has been my weight. My weight has been the longest area that I have failed in so bad that when I look at my past, at least my past 10 years, I can really, if there was the biggest pain in my life, that will have been the biggest pain, that I'm just not getting it right. And I think it only had to be COVID. That Corona, it was Corona that really helped me to somehow get a control of it. Get a control of it. So my normal schedule in my life in generally was quite unpredictable. I sit on plus or minus 15 entities where I go to boardroom or audit committees and different types of institutions at different times. That then what it does, it put me in different situations and in different environments that I cannot control. By now having to be confined, to be at home, and it then helped me to focus on what exactly is this and why am I struggling with it. And as I was winning on it, I got too comfortable. Sometime in September, I had already lost about 10 kg. But guess what? From September to January, February, I gained again the same 10 kg. Then I realized, God, this is, why am I failing in this? So what I started doing was, I started doing the stuff that we're gonna talk about today. I started actually just trying to put myself in a lab, like I'm actually putting myself as, I'm looking at my life as a third party and saying, okay, what the heck are you doing? What are you doing? And having the daily reflection, having someone to touch base with, and having to create certain systems and checklists, then things started to change again, to shift in a different direction. So I thought, you know what? I have my people. When I've learned something, I share with my people. So that's why I thought, let's do this, guys. Oh, yeah, Lerato, you're right. The weight struggle is real. And I never took it, Lerato, and never, to tell you the truth, I never took it serious until I started learning that to have a personal mastery, no matter what you will achieve ever, anywhere in your life, whether it's relationships, whether it's money, it's actually start with yourself, with your body. When you have a full control of what you weigh and what you eat, what you think and what you do, oh my goodness. You know, I've had revelations when it comes to finances and paying off debts and all that. I think my real transformation for my life is starting right now. I think I finally get it. And I am saying to whoever who could be thinking, you know what, my life is a mess, my finances is a mess, this area in my life is a mess. The personal mastery and the personal development, your start is your physical body. From your physical body, it then shifts. It shifts to your mind, it shifts to your beliefs, it changes practically everything about you. And I'm not there yet, people, but I'm saying whatever that I'm learning, I'm gonna share with you, because I know my people, you guys are with me throughout. So yeah, please share your struggles. Lerato has already shared hers. Please, guys, share your struggle. There are few people that are joining us. People were running late, but you know what? They are late, then they're gonna lose. I am saying this approach of what we're gonna discuss today is gonna actually apply. It's a principle. It's gonna apply in every aspect of your life. Whether you are failing in a career or you are failing, it's gonna almost like give you a framework of what is it that you need to be thinking about. And allow me, you know me, my spirit will allow, and I will go on. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Please type in your struggles, which areas. I've already shared mine, which areas are your struggles. And please don't say money. I know some of you are so fast to saying it's money. We already know that money is not gonna come to you until you are contributing a value into the market, a value of which the market is willing to pay for. So if you have not answered that, then don't even bother saying it's money. We're gonna need to focus on what we're focusing on, but we are using the same principle that we have learned in other aspects of our lives. I see that people are not typing, they are struggling, they are afraid. Go back, rechange your name, guys, so that you don't wanna lay out your stuff out there. Me, I don't care. So weight has been my biggest challenge for the past 10 years, and I'm on it now. I've got it. I've got it. This Paula is saying you've reduced weight. Of course I have. Oh, you have to see me. In 6 months' time, sis, Kona. You will think I'm walking with my daughter. It's moi. I'm so excited. Okay, guys, you know me, I'm gonna get carried off. So share your struggles, which areas in your life that you feel you have failed and you do not even know where to start to fix it up. Share those, I will make a note of them, and then I will share my experiences, what I've actually picked up and what didn't work, what worked, but then let's go through the content. It's so good to see all of you guys. Oh, I am just so grateful you decided to join us. Thank you so much for that. I said the first 20 people, Denise made a screenshot of those so that we are actually going to be scheduling up a session with them to actually talk about which areas. Yes, Sis Paula, please go ahead, share. Type it on your chat box. Use your chat box. Go ahead and share on your chat box. I'm gonna start if I don't see anyone going through this, I will start with my presentation. Okay. So this is part of our component on finance success, on how to set and achieve your goals. And I guess there isn't anyone in this group that can say in their lifetime they have not failed. I think every human being, no matter what age, no matter, the day they become conscious, they will know that things will not come as easy. So, but I wanted to break it down into little pieces because for me to understand this, I had to actually go deeper. But I also wanted, before I go deeper, what are the basic things that I need to understand about this thing so that I can get my head around why am I struggling with this issue so much? Why am I picking a similar issues when I go to other areas in my life? So I can see people are starting to share. I'm gonna just go back and have a look. Oh, the financial discipline is still there. You guys. Oh, Sis Paula, you are in student accommodation. With a COVID and university are moving now to online studies. Oh, that affected your income financially. Oh, sorry about that. But then you need to consider asking yourself if you can't change that to be a family. Maybe you consider having it as a family startup flats. Maybe that might be. Okay, Mankoni is saying, I'm struggling with saving money. No. Mankoni, we are not struggling with saving money. We are struggling to make the reasons why you started saving the money to be stronger than you using the money. That's all you're struggling with, but we will touch on it when you are going to the more detail. Kelly Swe Jacob is saying, hang on, I'm trying to read. I've skipped few people. My problem is discipline. I do and plan today and tomorrow, but I don't do what I've planned. Ooh, lack of accountability. Ooh, yeah, that is a hard one. Okay, I think I can share one or few tips on that one, on the lack of discipline, the accountability. Maybe also think about what are you using as your motivation. I think that was one of my biggest mistakes. Okay, let's see. The other one is, I often struggle, okay, this is Patesike. I often struggle with staying on the course on what I've started. So when a Patesike, you are basically a person who starts things but does not finish them. Okay, maybe some affirmations there might help, but also some rewards. Okay, I'm gonna touch on these when I'm going. Financial discipline, Tato, let's talk about this a little bit later. Not following up on good ideas. I give up so easily. It was actually golden idea. Lindy, maybe you need to have someone to talk to about your ideas, to validate, to give you some validation. Maybe you don't trust yourself enough to actually think about your ideas. So some sort of some sounding board for you to say, is that a good idea or bad idea? Because I think when you do not have a self-confidence to know that it's a good idea, you are more likely also not to hesitate. So maybe consider that. Richard is saying, securing an industrial space. Richard, please explain more and tell me where you are based. Guys, for those who are looking for industrial areas and space, consider looking at the IDZ zones. Industrial areas that the government has dedicated to for industrial productivity and stuff. Consider those, but also talk to your municipality on some of those issues. Hang on, I'm not gonna waste too much time on this. I'm just wanting to have a feel on what are we struggling with. Davon said, I think my biggest struggle, I'm too nice and cut me short. I cut me short. Okay, Devon, you're gonna have to come back to me on this one. I'm not clear, but I hear when you're saying your biggest struggle, you're too nice. Okay, I struggle implementing ideas. Oh, so you fail before you start. Marone Mong, I think. I've just butchered your name there. Morena, yeah? Morena, yes, Morena Mong. Oh, God, okay, implementing of ideas. But you are saying I need to prioritize my skills development and intellectual property, intellectual causes and building relationships, okay? So you're struggling with that. Roy, hi, Roy. Oh, I haven't seen you in ages. All the way from Cape Town. Roy is saying failure is the key to success. As you learn from your failure, you make sure that you don't make the same mistake again. I've failed numerous times, but I've learned and I've succeeded in numerous. Perfect. Absolutely. Ray, I'm going to allow you to talk also a little bit later to share your experiences. Okay, guys, I think I've gone to, so okay, Nomfundo is saying, I'm afraid to take risk. So now you're actually even afraid to fail. And the result, you then end up having some sort of anxiety, and because you put in too much safety around yourself. Okay, I think you and the other person who was talking about accountability, I spoke about accountability. You could, where you have, if you're afraid of taking risk, maybe having a sounding board or having 5 people that you contact before you make a final call on that thing you want to do. Mukwetu is in the same WhatsApp group as me. I'm struggling with the weight. It's true. If you don't feel good, you don't put yourself up there. Definitely, definitely. Thank you, guys. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Someone is saying, Pate Saike is also saying, I struggle with approaching friends and family to use my product as clients. Yeah. Again, that talks more to self-confidence. When you look at the mirror or when you look at your product, is your product your biggest pride of anything you ever done? Because if it is, then that is what you should be talking about all the time. If it's not, then maybe that is where the self-confidence within your product is also lacking. But maybe it's a confidence within yourself, and as a result is transmitting to the product. So consider those ideas, guys. Let's get into it, and thank you so much for sharing. I'm gonna close the chat and then we're gonna get on with our program for today. Okay, so we're gonna basically be covering what is failure and what is a setback. Is there a difference? And we'll also look at our people that we identify with. For me, Oprah is one of my favorite people that are successful. I wanted to see what her views are. I also want us to look at who really experiences failure and how often and why those people do, and why do we fail. And within that, we will also cover what are the things that we need to know as facts. Some of them Roy has already mentioned. Now, let's take it, you now have failed. Then what? What do you do with that? How do you get yourself and your mindset and everything to start all over? Okay, we'll look at 4 things that you will need to look at, and we'll look at both a bad way of approaching it, and then we'll look at the right way of approaching it on the same issue. So I hope that will then give us some sort of things we can work through. We can even take this as a practical exercise in your issue, in your problem that you are talking about. And we then have 15 ways that you guys gonna take 1 or 2 per week, and then you practice. And this is how other successful people do, because you see, if you wanna be someone who really take failure like a pro, who really look at failure like the way the Elon Musk look at, the way Colonel Sanders look at failure. I mean, 1,009 times he was knocking with his KFC recipe. Today, we wouldn't have KFC if it was not for Colonel Sanders' persistent. The light bulb, so there is so many of them that did not look at the timeline, which I think that is one of the biggest challenges. So we'll look at those, what those did and how we can maybe learn from them. Because for us to be successful, we need to learn from people who are already successful. And we also have several bonuses for you guys, several bonuses for tools, to help you focus, to help you to be persistent, but also to make sure that you actually start practicing these things and see what is, start looking at your life as though you are in a lab. You are in a lab to really analyze you, the way you do things and the way you run and the way you are actually self-sabotaging yourself, because most of us, we self-sabotage ourselves in achieving the goals because we are afraid of being the best we can be. And I hope I'm gonna release you in some of those, and then we'll go on conclusions, and we'll look again at these items that you have raised, which you have spoken about, and I've given you some ideas on. So it's the day and the whole 1.5 hours is fully packed, and thank you so much for being here. Let's get on with it. Okay, failure and setbacks. It doesn't matter what they are both painful, right? They bring stress, anger, depression, grief. They also somehow make you to be impatient with yourself and have some sort of frustrations. But also they bring some sort of sadness. They make us, the failure makes us feel as though we're not good enough. It also makes us feel as though we can't do this. And that is basically what I see it brings in terms of whether it's a failure from the onset or it's a setback. They're very similar in output, but they're not necessarily the same. So let's dig into in more detail. So what is failure? I came across this that says, fail is first attempt in learning. And I think I really like this. So that we have to understand that what is failure or a setback, irrespective of the difference between the two. Any failure that comes in our life is just a first attempt. And sometimes it may not even be the first attempt. Like Colonel Sanders, it could be a 1008, just before the 1009 of a yes. So it's not about even the number. So it could be millions of attempts before you actually get it right. Now, with what we're learning, when I started really taking time to research this, what failure was explained as it's a lack of success. It's a non-fulfillment of a specific target or goal. But also, it's a negligence of an omission of the expected or required action. So it doesn't have to be just fulfilling a specific target. It can be also just an omission or negligence in actually doing what is expected. So, but to me, I think my own definition of failure is basically failure is a feedback by the universe indicating that actually I'm not doing what needs to be done to achieve the goal. Things need to be done in a certain way, and everything that is required must form part of a systems, processes, and certain principles around that. So therefore, in my own understanding, it's just the whole universe. And as a Christian, I think it's God telling me, child, where are you going? Just hang on. You are missing certain things here. So when I'm failing, then it's about I'm missing fundamentals. There's certain fundamentals about this issue that I'm not getting. There's certain laws that I'm not understanding. So some of you said, Precious, I lack discipline about money. Maybe some of you indicated that, you know what, I'm struggling with just following through about maybe on the goals I've set. I plan, but I don't execute. You really need to ask yourself, have I created the system? Do I know what is the system in achieving this goal that I want? What are the processes I'm gonna need to go through? And what are the principles that underline this? Because if you have not done that, guess what? You'll fail either on a system, or you'll fail either even on the processes. You'll fail because you don't
I'm
understand.
sorry, I don't know, maybe it's me. I'm struggling to hear you.
In that area
breaking, eh?
So
I don't know, maybe it's me or
almost like what I kind of felt like when I was going through this was, it almost like sometimes we fail, the network is bad because we're not observant enough, so bad, and we fail before we even start. So, and the summary of this, failure in terms of definitions that we got was, it's a lack of action, whereas a setback is not progressing or not attaining the expected result, or to achieve the result after you have acted on a specific goal. So the difference, it's a very minor difference. It's just that a setback, you must have attempted to do something, whereas a failure could be a lack of action or doing something, but that is not sufficient to achieve the goal. So now we understand what a failure is. Can you start asking yourself, in your area that you've highlighted, which one is it? Was it a lack of action, or was it a fact that maybe you did do some action, but it was not the expected or required action, because maybe you are missing some systems, some processes, or maybe you don't understand the principle? Or was it a setback? It's a setback because you are not progressing as you had planned, or is it because the results you are getting are not necessarily matching the result that you wanted? Or is it because maybe you did it 50%, yet you were expecting 100%? So which one is it for you? Make a note when we're discussing, make a note so that when you are discussing, but also when you are reflecting on today's webinar, you can really take time to see what you are actually missing and how then you should build up to start again and work on it. So let's just take a few minutes and share one, as I said, Oprah's view on what is her view when it comes to failure. And please, guys, just let me know if you cannot see the screen. I'm gonna pause this 1 second while I'm making it bigger. 1 second, I'm trying to pause it. She's too fast for me. Okay, I'm gonna start again.
There are no mistakes. There really aren't any, because you have a supreme destiny. When you're in your little mind, in your little personality mind, where you're not centered, where you really don't know who you are, that you come from something greater and bigger, and that we really all are the same. When you don't know that, you get all flustered. You get stressed all the time, wanting something to be what it isn't. There's a supreme moment of destiny calling on your life. Your job is to feel that, to hear that, to know that. And sometimes when you're not listening, you get taken off track. You get in the wrong marriage, the wrong relationship, you take the wrong job. Yeah, but it's all leading to the same path. There are no wrong paths. There are none. There's no such thing as failure, really, because failure is just that thing trying to move you in another direction. So you get as much from your losses as you do from your victories, because the losses are there to wake you up. The losses are to say, fool, that is why you go to school. So that CBS can call you. So when you understand that, you don't allow yourself to be completely thrown by a grade or by a circumstance, because your life is bigger than any one experience. And if I always ask people on Super Soul Sunday to tell me, what would you say to your younger self? Every person says in one form or another, I would have said, relax, relax. It's gonna be okay. It really is gonna be okay. Because even if you're on a detour right now, and that's how you know, when you're not at ease with yourself, when you're feeling like, oh, no, that is the cue that you need to be moving in another direction. Don't let yourself get all thrown off, continue to be thrown off course. When you're feeling off course, that's the key. How do I turn around? So when everybody was talking about, when I started this network, if I had only known, good Lord, how difficult it would be. The way through the challenge is to get still and ask yourself, what is the next right move? Not think about, oh, I got all of this. What is the next right move? And then from that space, make the next right move and the next right move. And not to be overwhelmed by it, because you know your life is bigger than that one moment. You know you're not defined by what somebody says is a failure for you, because failure is just there to point you in a different direction.
Guys, I don't know, it seems like some of you did not get the screen. So I hope you did hear it though. It will be part of the presentation that we're gonna share with you after this. And we will also make sure that the link is fine, it's right there on the presentation. I think what we have to understand about failure is that it's just an indication that we are not at the right course, or we are not ready for the right course. And by actually going through that, it helping us to the destination of where we're supposed to be going. And with our own human minds and human things around us, we generally feel quite taken back. We give up, we get angry, we go back to this state that I was talking about in here, that it brings frustration, it brings pain, we get mad, we get sad, we get to depression, we get to be quite stressed, we stop doing things, we get into a loss of grief, we get into quite a lot of anger too, and a sadness. And all of these things basically are telling us those are the cues. Those are the cues that Oprah is saying. That basically, when we start having these feelings, it's an indication that there's a possibility we are not going through the right process. We are not actually in the right path, so that it becomes easier, or it becomes clear of what should be done. And Oprah's suggestion is saying, you know what, even when you know it's just this whole thing that you have felt it is just becoming so big, just ask yourself, what is the next move I can make? Just one. You don't need to make the whole 10 steps of the plan. Just your next move. Because the aim is to move as fast as possible, not to let that failure to have a hold on you, not to have that failure sinking in, start playing with your mind, start playing with other areas in your life. So let's get on with it. And I hope you guys, we have so much to share of what I've learned. So who really experiences failure, and how often and why do these people experience failure? So I think it was very clear that there's two types of people that generally actually experiences failure. One is the people that try. Is the people that are saying, you know what, I'm not going to be accepting things the way they are. I want things to actually be different. I want things to be in a certain way. It's those people that will say, you know what, maybe that is what others will accept as the things in life. You know what, for me, this is what I want. And those who try are people who will move themselves from in a comfort zone to be in an uncomfortable zone. And it's about those people that consistently are looking, how can I be a better human being? How can I actually improve on what I'm doing to add more value into the society I live, to add more value in what I do, to provide products and services that my clients are actually gonna say, wow, and come back? It's people who are willing to try. You see, people who are willing to try are exactly the same people that will actually be the people that put themselves in front of a bullet to say, you know what, this is what I stand for. People who try are people also who are willing to risk. But now there comes a point where you will risk and not necessarily realize that that risk that you are taking, on the other side of that coin, there's an equal benefit. So because sometimes you are only looking at what you are losing, you're not looking at what you are gaining. So, and these are the people I've highlighted them blue. I think those are my favorite people that are gonna consistently be pushing themselves to be better in all aspects of their lives. Now, there are those of us who doesn't even wanna try, who will see, and we see this in our communities. In other families, it stays from one generation to another. Basically, no progress. It ends up being called a curse because for some reason or the other, for this specific family or for this specific people, they just don't get it. And they don't get it and they don't even try. And you will feel sorry for them because you can see it's unconscious, incompetent, because they're unconscious about what is happening. And they also therefore are not looking at solutions or ways to get themselves out of a hole or black hole. And sometimes we as people who are blue here, who try, we might even get into the people who don't try in certain things. So you could have both of the mixture of this, but at certain times. Previously, before I started working on myself and my energy and what I do and making sure that I'm consistently just on top of my game, I used to actually feel there are days that I just don't want to wake up. I just want to sleep and that's it. And over the years, I have found that what has really helped with maintaining a certain level of productivity or having a way of just doing basic things and doing those things regularly to a point that it ends up being automatically what you do. then even when you have the days where you don't even want to try, but there's still something happening automatically because you're already in a routine. But I also just want to say to some of you who might feel, you know what, I have been going through stuff that is a failure, either coming from family or coming from your environment where there's no progress on that specific issue. And to some extent, maybe you have even labeled it as a curse and thought, you know what, that's the end of it. There is no such thing. What you do need is to have a limit. You gotta need to say, you know what, it ends with me. That's the end of it. But you're also gonna have a mindset that says, I will not wait for anybody to actually see what is wrong with this. It's within my control to change it. Because when sometimes you transfer responsibilities to somebody else, you know what, no one is gonna pitch up for you. You're gonna need to pitch up for yourself. So that is what I've picked up for people that are experiencing failure more often, and why, and who gets this. So there are people who don't even try. So they've already failed because they have not even started. But there are those also who are gonna try and consistently just keep on pushing to the more uncomfort zone consistently. So I wanted to share a little bit of the billionaires that have failed. And I'm not gonna share the whole video here. Guys, when you get your time, please go through that. I'm just gonna share just some of those experiences with you so that we can have some sort of perspective. I chose the billionaires because sometimes we think rich people just got richer. No one just overnight became rich. There is no quick scam, guy. That the overnight success, there's no such thing. So let's go on. Let's see how others, what they went through before they got successful. And I'm gonna just try by all means to make this as big as I can. Please confirm when the screen is with you. Let me try again. So I'm gonna resume the share. Okay, it's not allowing me. I'm gonna just try again. Okay, give me a second. I had already opened these links, but for some reason I am unable to find them now. And that's not a good thing. Okay, I have no idea. Okay, what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna open this one, get it open, and I'm gonna then say resume a share, a new share. And then there we go, perfect. Oh, the computer stuff, okay. I'm gonna just go through this, give me a second. Okay, guys, we all know Bill Gates, right? Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, recently announced his divorce to Melinda, I think. So there has been some stories about him recently. I think South African women are sending some notification that if he's looking for a new girlfriend, you know, South Africans, there is no down moment there. Bill Gates, he was banned from school for hacking. He co-founded a traffic monitoring company, which failed. He dropped out of Harvard. He got a cream pie thrown in his face by protesters. He was accused of stealing, and he was also, at some point, towards, I think about almost 10 years ago, he committed to donate half of his wealth to over his lifetime. That is why they have that big foundation, Microsoft Foundation, which even other rich people actually contribute to. And his views about failure is that it's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure. Bill Gates, I guess that is why he's a billionaire. Jeff, Jeff, my man, Amazon, the guy who's killing it right now throughout the world, killing it. Amazon is killing it across. It doesn't matter which country, how small it is, he's just selling. He's just selling. The business model is bulletproof. Pandemic is bulletproof, whatever that you're gonna bring on board. And okay, so this one I have more notes on him. So he didn't realize that he was adopted until he was 10. He worked at McDonald's as a fry cook. He struggled with physics in college and switched to computer science instead. He turned down jobs from Intel, Bell Labs, and for small startup which failed within 2 years. I mean, that's a norm, eh? We startups fail within 2 years. In South Africa, that's even shorter. And then we have him. He worked in the garage, which he built his own office furniture. He then started a new company, which later got renamed as Amazon. And during that time, he also did quite a lot of jobs within the finance industry. And he also then launched an auction site, which was aimed to actually compete with eBay. Guys, I'm sure you all know eBay. He then also, I think there's another recent failure. It was actually on CNN about 2 or 3 weeks ago, which was talking about that how did Jeff make the mainstream media to love him now, because apparently they used to hate him. As a result, that used to affect the shares of Amazon. So one of the things that he likes the most, Jeff, he says, most large organizations embrace the idea of invention, but they're not willing to suffer the string of failed experiences to necessary to get there. And again, guys, I think the common thing between Bill and Jeff is that it's almost like these guys have a different mindset in how they accept failure in their life. It's almost like they actually say, bring it on, instead of saying, I don't want failure. So it's almost like they know that on the other side of failure is success. Therefore, you can't say you want success without actually exposing yourself to a failure. Okay, there is another guy. I'm not gonna go through all of them. I would send this link to you guys. This one, it's not, you know, with Disney, no, I don't like Disney one. Okay, Oprah, the one that, the lady that we were just listening to just now, I'm sure all of you know who Oprah is. So Oprah, first of all, was born out of wedlock by a teenager, right? Her mother was a teenager, and I guess her father too. And they just met. Oprah usually make this as an example. They met once, and it's like a one-night stand of some sort under a tree or something like that. And there, Oprah was actually born. But because she was being raised by a child herself, as also herself, who was struggling, her mother, she then didn't actually was able to keep Oprah safe. Then Oprah got abused as a child by relatives, which later herself got herself pregnant and lost the baby at the age of 14. So basically repeating exactly what has happened to her mother to some extent. But obviously this is slightly different because with her, she was actually also abused. But she also got fired on AM Chicago because she used to actually almost like have too much emotion when she was reading news, and you're not supposed to have that. I'm not going to talk about the rest of other things and stuff, but there's like a string of things that Oprah talks about when it comes to failure and her path and how she chose and I usually choose her examples because I can identify with Oprah as much as Bill Gates is nice and Jeff. I mean, these are just white people that for me, and maybe for me, Oprah is more closer to my heart because then I can see how your background, who you are, where you come from is not an excuse. The fact that we come from apartheid, the fact that we come from Bantu education, the fact that maybe my pronunciation may not be the same as someone who has gone to Matu does not give me an excuse that I cannot do what I need to do to take my message out there. The fact that I might actually come up with a whole list of excuses not to be the best I can be does not. So for me, Oprah, I think the other guy that I really love, who actually just get me going, I will share his name. His name is Brown. I forgot the first name. I'm gonna just remember. Les Brown. Oh yeah, Les Brown, guys. Oh, that's a person also that just when I listen to him, I can really feel, you know what? Whatever that I'm putting around is just excuses. I'm trying to come up with reasons for not doing things instead of trying to get the result. And sometimes as people, we look for more reasons of not doing something than looking for the results. So anyway, you will have others also there. Michael, who started Bloomberg, Andrew Carnegie. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is one of my favorites. I mean, I listen anything that's Jack. Oh, I even have a video of Jack. You will laugh at the things this guy went through. I watched Elon Musk. He was like crying in this video. Him telling us how he actually faced the fear, the failure and fear, but also what he sacrificed to get Tesla. He says the business was almost shut down. And I mean, they had to stop doing the video for a few seconds just to give him time, just to cry his eyes out. So I'm saying, if you are in business and you are struggling with something, guess what? You have not struggled to a point where the pain is so much that you cannot sleep at night. The pain is so much of you wanting that thing more than what you will expose yourself into. Richard Branson and guys, there's so many of them. I have included a link for you to go through them. Let me go through this. I can see there's quite a lot of people that are sharing. Let's go through this. Of course, Paula, you are going to have a recording of this. I am looking, I can see there's quite a lot of people. Yes, we are going to share this presentation via email. We will try to do the WhatsApps, but we generally are sitting in way too many WhatsApps, so we'll share it on email. Make sure that you are actually subscribing to our newsletter. So I wanted to see if there's any questions here. Roy is saying network. Oh, no, guys, if you have a network, it's on your side, not my side. Okay, guys, I'm gonna continue. It doesn't seem like. Okay, perfect. Okay, let me try then to wrap up this so that we can have some questions and we can also apply some of this principle. I want us to just finish everything and then we're gonna see how we're gonna do this the best way we can. I'm going to continue sharing our presentation. So exactly why do we fail? Why do we really fail? Before we move on, as I said, I have another video of someone that I really, really love. So I hope you guys also love this person. I'm gonna pause.
The one thing I'm telling other managers right now is to try Monday.
Give me a second. I'm just gonna try by all means to skip this. Oh, that's his Colonel Sanders. Guys, I've already mentioned this. I don't need to share this. You can watch this later. I think let's rather do that. I've already shared it for the Colonel Sanders one, the KFC. So why do we fail? Why do we just, even though Oprah has somehow tackled it. But what I have found to be the most common in my environment, in my life, and the life of my children and the people around me, we give up too soon. We set this unrealistic expectation and we tie that to a period. We don't take enough stock of the risk associated with doing that thing. And it's almost like when we're doing the planning, we don't take into account that we might fail. We think the fact that you have written up the plan and the plan is in place means that thing is going to actually happen. The last two are my favorite, and I think I want to go on the last one before I go on the fourth one. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth one. We focus too much on the results than the process. We just want the end result. We're not taking into account the process. And that is why, to some people, they don't see this. A person who wins a lottery, someone who gets a retirement, and they just blow it up within a very short space of time. They have looked at the thing that will come as though that thing, and not understanding that it's a process, and not understanding that when things come too quick or too fast, the results come, it also means you might lose it quite quick. Yes, a person might have been putting money aside for retirement over years, but they have not necessarily conditioned or really materialized what does it, and condition themselves to handle that type of money or that size of money. So let's talk about number 4. I think number 4 is really one of the best, or one of the root cause on why do we fail as human beings. We want something. We can see it in our own physical mind. We can dream about it. We have good affirmations about it, or a declaration, or whatever that we are doing. But we have not mastered our inner game, the things that people do not see. We have not mastered our emotions around that thing. We have not mastered our belief. We have not mastered our minds, what we think, the thoughts we have. We have not become the people that are worth that thing. So like me, I want to have a great body, right? I want to have a great body and be healthy, but I have not got it in as part of me, choosing to eat right, to exercise on time, on regular basis, is not yet within my system. It's still an effort. It's still about waking up. So therefore, I have not become the person who's worth the size 34 that I'm aspiring for, the 70 kg that I'm aspiring for. So for me to see the result of what I want to achieve in this area, which in this case we're going to put as a weight, I'm going to need to become the person. I'm going to need to become the person and start thinking as a person who is size 70 kg, who is size 30 something or 34 size. And for me to do that, I have to think the same way as that person. And that's the only time I will be able to be success. That's the only time I'll be able to change my failure in this area to be a success. Now, just reflect on that, entrepreneurs. Just think about that and ask yourself, the money that you are looking for, the clientele that you are looking for, all the areas that you are talking about when you were specifying the areas that you are failing in, have you become the person that you are worth, who's worth the goal that you want? Can you try really to live your life as that person? Because I think for me, my challenge has been, I want the body, but I don't want to live like that person. And there's no way, therefore, I'm going to have this until I live like that person. Anyway, I hope you're going to learn one or two things. So what are the things that we can learn about failure that are facts that no one can deny? One, failure is an opportunity to learn. I think Bill also raised that. Failure does not define you. Failure can be fixed. It is not the end. Failure will happen. Actually, I'm of a view, if you are a person who tried doing things, if you are a person who actually continuously improve, you are definitely guaranteed you will experience it. And that is why then we're saying failure is guaranteed in the journey of success. And failure is a gift. Failure is never personal. It's never personal. It's not because you're black. Guys, some of you are still stuck on that because I'm black. That is why I'm experiencing this. No, it's not because you're black. It's not because there's apartheid. It's not because maybe the banks hate us or whatever case. It's not, failure is not personal. So do not take it personal. And your approach also will not be personal. So those are the things. So let's just assume now you've got it. You found it, you realize, you know what, okay, I suck at this, I'm quite bad at this. What do you do? What do you do? You have failed, you either failed in saving. Some of you said, I still can't save the money. Okay, yes, let's use that as an example. You failed to save the money that you had set yourself as a target. Let's use that as an example. Okay. Now, let's try to go back. Let's look at you as a third party. Who said that? Let me find you. Unmute yourself. Let's discuss. Let me check. Denise, who was that? Please call their names. Maybe they've muted themselves. Okay, there's quite a lot of messages. Some of them are people that are saying they even fear of starting, of just getting over and just getting started. And that is the fear that we spoke about, that failure sometimes is actually not even trying. But maybe we should be using certain examples that are very clear. Sisnom Sahlumayo, that's my sister. Do you want to unmute yourself and just tell us what are you afraid to start? Okay, unmute yourself. Okay, those of you guys, please unmute yourself. Okay, I'm gonna try to find it.
Me?
Nonhleko?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. She's still here. Yeah, she is. You are unmuted, but we can't hear you. Maybe increase the volume on your device because we can see you are talking, but your device volume is quite low.
Oh no.
Okay, there is a volume problem. Maybe let's try a bit later with you on that. Dennis, Bunolo.
Yeah, I'm here.
Dennis.
Yes, can you hear me?
Hey, did I lose my team also?
No, I think there's some.
Okay, let's see.
Precious, can you hear
I
me?
wanted to find the person who was talking about the saving. We're gonna take something easy as savings, right? And we're gonna apply the principle of what we're learning. Guys, who was talking about saving?
Hi, Precious. It's Mankoni who was talking about savings.
My sound is pretty okay. Nomsa, try again. Nomsa Shumara, try again, Sisi.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Oh, great. I can finally hear you now. Please, go ahead.
No, sometimes you have this vision, or you have a dream of something. Now it's kind of like a bit difficult now to start, especially even though you know where to start, but you have this fear of that. What if it fails? What if, there's so many things that are in your mind. What if it doesn't work out? Then what am I going to do? It's like when you are in your corporate now, you want to start your own business, and then you feel like, what if it doesn't work out? Then what am I going to do? All those things.
So let's use that example, and then we're gonna try to break it down using what we have picked up. And guys, the things that I'm sharing with you is what has worked for me, but it does not mean it's the only way to deal with it. As you guys know, I prefer to share real experience things. So maybe some of you also can add things that you think could actually support or help. So how then do we deal with failure of even starting, or failure of even getting this to actually be, I think I have this example on my life. I'm gonna share quite a bit then. I have this experience in my life. For the past, it's now almost 14 years. I wanted to move and be in property. Whether it was private investments or it was commercial, I just wanted to move to property. I advise some of my clients to actually invest in several, but I could never take the advice I was giving and me being brave enough to act on it. Some of them, when I'm in Durban, I call them just to say, they are stinking rich. Stinking rich, someone when you see money when they talk, the cars they drive, the homes they have. And those were my clients. So it has taken me almost from that 14 years to move to 3 years ago, when I then made it not an option for me. So what I then started doing was that I started saving. I started saving a bit because property does need you to cough up quite a bit of money. I started saving. Guys, even last year when there was COVID and pandemic, I still managed to save. This year, beginning of the year, other New Year start, I had saved 1.5 million cash on hand, which I was saying, that is and that is just on me alone. Not my husband, not anyone. 1.5, yes, 1.5, I guess, in my profession, that's almost like nothing. But for me, it was the biggest heck that for a very long time, I kept on postponing. But then because of me being afraid of doing this, I then said, as much as I've attended courses after courses, I think for the past 3 years, I attended more than 6 courses on property, different coaches and mentors. I then joined an incubator in property to safeguard me so that when I make decisions, I can actually maybe talk to someone who knows more about it than me, even though I have other coaches and mentors. So maybe sometimes, especially if we have family, we've already got responsibility. Taking a risk is difficult. To lose it all after 3 years of trying to build up this capital and saving with everything. I am saying maybe you need to build up something that is going to give you some confidence, but as you're doing that, get to an incubator, find someone who has done what you want to do and ask them to coach you, ask them to help you make better decisions. Don't start by driving a Range Rover. Start by driving maybe a Golf, where the risk is not as much. You see, if you crash on a Range Rover, that's 1.2 million gone, right? Whereas with a Golf, if it crashes, you know. So maybe I think in your case, you wanted to start a clinic, a mobile clinic, right? Is that the same business idea?
Yeah.
Yes. So maybe find out who gives away franchise arrangement and how can you maybe own a portion of it, or how can you join someone who's already running it, or how can you actually go and being employed in that franchise business for 2 years so that you understand the in and out of it. Then you are ready to buy yours at a later stage. So it's about trying to look at your life and try to look at, because sometimes the risk is too big, guys, especially when you have family and you have responsibility. You're gonna think, oh Lord, how will I pay for this? How will I pay for that? How will I pay for that? Then take risk that you can manage, because you also don't want to feel bad that you are letting down your family. You want to make sure that also you still live up to your dreams. So my suggestion is that let's find out the incubation centers, find out the coaches and mentors in your industry, get them, find out who are doing franchises on providing mobile clinics in private sector, who are your partners, see how they actually work, and figure out how you can actually provide the service, maybe even as a locomet in those businesses, and then maybe at a later stage, then you can see how you can run that with a long-term view. Don't get into it to make money, get into it with a long-term view, and that would be my suggestion.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, let's go back to our session, and I'm running out of time here. Oh, and I've not even finished the content. Oh, I'm gonna get quite okay. So let's take that example of someone who said, I have failed to save. I have failed to save and meet my target. So what you need to do is that, did you set the target? The answer in this case, yes. Okay, try to investigate. When you were undisciplined, Shumila, would you please just mute yourself, or Denise or Bunolo, please mute her? There's a feeder noise on here. So you have to take time to investigate and research. Now, you're investigating yourself. Okay, when I didn't put the money aside, what really happens here? Maybe a cousin called and say, you know what, can you borrow me the money? So your weakness is your inability to say no. And then maybe as you're doing this investigation, you start picking up certain events that have actually stopped you from not saving. So that investigation is somehow going to give you some sort of a trend. It's also going to give some sort of an indication what is driving this behavior. Go back also and analyze and research. What does it take to save? Are you doing it the right way? Your method that you are using. Analyze that. Look at your method. Look at what is out there in the market. Go back and ask yourself, with the plan that you are reworking, What can you learn about the trend? What can you learn about what you have picked up as actually in that research? And then come up with a new plan of the things that actually will work and see how you're actually gonna fix. So think of yourself as though we are in a lab. Analyze every thought, everything that you have done during that period. One of my clients was saying, Precious, you know, one of the biggest things that I've been doing, I didn't realize until you raised it when you said self-sabotage, is that I do have a savings target. But when I'm not feeling good, or when I do feel good, I reward myself by going and having a retail therapy. That is self-sabotage. You can't come up with a strategy of celebration that is counterproductive to your goal, that takes away from your goal. So if your aim is to save money, then which means when you celebrate, you're gonna celebrate with something that doesn't take money away from you. So just be careful about those. So what are the things that you have to change? When you are analyzing this, you're gonna need to start asking yourself, what are your beliefs? What are your beliefs about this thing? What do you really believe? Do you believe you cannot save? You cannot save because there's not enough money, or you cannot save because you don't have money. I love that one. Someone said, Precious, what's the point of saving? I don't have money anyway. There's no such thing. What about your thoughts? And guys, this one is so important. Your mindset, your thoughts. What are your thoughts when it comes to savings? Do you believe saving is about being stingy? Do you believe saving is about it's hard? Do you believe it's as a negative word to you? Or do you think it's actually a positive word to it? What about your feelings around that? What emotions are you attaching to this thing that you are doing? How are you feeling when you're doing it? Are you saving this money happily because it's investing to your financial freedom? Or are you putting this money and say, I can't do this and I don't want to do this? And your emotions, where are your emotions? Where are your feelings? And let's talk about your actions, because guys, your beliefs will drive your thoughts, and your thoughts will drive your feelings, and your feelings will drive what? Your emotions, your behavior, your habits. So you cannot achieve your goals when your beliefs are the opposite of what you want, when your thoughts are not the right mindset, when your feelings are not the right feelings for that specific goal, therefore also your action. So let's make an example. Now, I use an example of, this is basically me. This was me before. A person who wants to lose weight, my beliefs was that actually I'm from big bone. So I come from a family where generally people are big. So you know what, I'm over 40, so nah, maybe this is my set point, right? I even Googled that, my set point. You know, so I'm almost like giving my excuse, I'm coming up with excuse of not. Do you think this person will lose weight because of their beliefs? I will leave that up to you. Then I'll move on to this one. Thoughts. I'm not capable of this. I'm not good at this. I don't have time to exercise. I can't eat this, it's horrible. I have already messed up my diet today or at this time. Why bother then with supper? I might as well have what? The whole cake or the whole muffin. Oh no, it's just 2 weeks. Next 2 weeks, you know, after 2 weeks, do you think this person will lose weight? I doubt. Go on the next one. The feelings, today I don't feel like doing an exercise. I don't feel like eating health. I'm fat. Oh, I'm not good at this. The negative self-talk translate to what? Negative what? Feelings. The words that come in our own mouth are the ones that prosecute us. All these things. And the last one, on our action, I'm now acting up, I'm eating rich food, taking takeaway food, watching TV, not watching the food intake, eating as much sweets and carbohydrate, not eating veggies and fruits. Do you think the actions and the habits of this person are the habits who wants to lose weight? I doubt. Now, let's shift this a little bit. I'm gonna go back to our other slides. You will see the difference. Okay, now this is a new person. This is a total new different person. This is after my first 3 months. Now, I can lose the weight. It's a lifetime commitment because again, in my mindset, I thought the issue of losing weight is supposed to be what? Short term. No, it's every day. The person who becomes healthy is the person that has a lifetime commitment of having the healthy body. It's not about losing weight. Eating to nurture the body. And most of the time, I was eating my emotions. I was not even eating food. I was just eating emotion, using food to replace certain things that I was not feeling right on. Indulging, I never used to actually have a conscious awareness that I shouldn't indulge. And over time, the self-confidence also in terms of different levels was also an issue. Tons of benefits on exercising and knowing what are those and playing those benefits in my head when it feels like maybe I'm going through a steep and it's too hard. I can't go any more one step. But if I'm remembering what are the benefits of me exercising, and it can't be about losing weight, it has to be about me respecting my body and also seeing a long-term investment in it. And still enjoy it, and still be happy, and still actually do it at my own speed. Do you think this person will lose the weight? I think this person has a start. And I think that is what it takes. It's just a start and continuous. And you don't need to be good at it. You don't need to be the best at it. You just need to do it the best way you can. Now, another one. The thought of this person who's saying, I'm capable of this. I am worth the goal I've set. I am good. I can achieve this. I love to exercise. Eat all that is good for my health. I do my best until I get the result. Do you think this person who has this thought will actually be able to achieve the goals? Of course, it's not guaranteed, but this person is way closer than this person that we discussed earlier, who looked at the short term, who didn't look at the long term, but also did not apply all the principles, the laws of losing weight, which is what? Exercise, food, and the right mindset. Now, and on feelings, the person in the other one was not feeling so great during exercise and eating, but this one is different. Feel great after exercise, feel healthy eating all things that are very good, and loving yourself more than food. I think for me, that was one area where I really finally realized that I actually did love way too much food, and I spent way too much time on food and planning food. And that is why OMED actually has worked well for me, because I only just have one meal a day and that's it. And also getting better every day in my exercise, and also just the feeling of achieving my goal now. You need to have a feeling right there before you actually see the scale, before you have to have a feeling to actually achieve your goals. And some of us, we don't have a feeling, and that is why the goal seems always to be very far. When you have a feeling inside of you that you've already achieved your goal as it stands right now, you also self-motivate yourself. You also help yourself to think beyond what you are actually looking at. So, and obviously action. For actions, because of all these beliefs, the thoughts and the feelings, even my action that equal my actions, now the exercising more, eating healthy, disciplined thought, getting a coach, a master group, join a healthy club, join a gym to improve accountability. So for me, I have a Twitter account that I keep on opening and looking at it, because there I look at Fetch My Body. I get encouraged by seeing others doing well, so that it reminds me that yes, I can do it. It's a long time, it's my pace, but I can do. So you don't necessarily have to do all of that. There are other ways you can do to improve your accountability. Just choose what works for you. If maybe a coach is gonna be better and quicker, choose that. But for me, I wanted to do this in my own pace, in my own way. So, and Fetch My Body is the only way I am getting myself reminded and get motivated when I see others, when they show the picture before and after. Oh my goodness, I cheer first and I say, ooh, because I see myself in them. Okay, what are the things we can do to practice to live like successful people, like what the things that Oprah was talking about, Jeff was talking about, Bill was talking about, the success to actually make it work, to make failure to be the gift that was supposed to be, a way God is teaching us lessons, to be the way God is saying, you know what, you are not ready for this right now, my child. Okay, first of all, guys, you gotta need to take 100% responsibility for your life, for where it is, without blaming yourself or anybody, and not taking it too personal. That is why that analysis is very important. 2, find a person who has done it. Mirror yourself to that person. And sometimes it might not actually be a real person. I don't have a real person on this one, because I've got way too many people that I follow on Twitter and even on YouTube, whom are good in providing guide and support, that have lost quite a lot of weight. However, what I've done, I also took a picture of a lady that looks amazing, and I put it on my pictures for my vision board. So sometimes that person may not be a real human being, it might just be a picture. So, but in that, I look at what that person, I imitate what that person does on their daily basis and versus what I do, so that I can align myself. Now, number 3, believe it's possible. So for me, the way I do build this to make sure I believe it's possible, I start looking at other people who have achieved the results. I also work on myself. I have my affirmations. So when I'm running, I have my affirmations that I'm saying. And on daily basis, I have done a little checklist that is showing me which things have worked, which things have not worked, and how to do. So I can see that I'm progressing because I'm ticking up the step. I'm focusing on the process, not just on the result. Yes, I do look at the scale. I used to look at the scale every day, the things I've done to myself. I'm no longer looking at the scale now. Actually, I don't care what the scales say. I care about what did I do, because I don't care so much about the result as much as I care about the process. Maybe number 5 also could be taking at least 5 actions towards your goal. For me, those 5 actions are drink water, 2 liters of water, exercise at least for 30 minutes, do a 15 minutes exercise on a treadmill, and number 4 and 5, I also make sure that I have one nice big meal. I don't have any snacks in between. And the other thing that I'm also doing, making sure that I take my vitamins. So those are my 5 things that I'm actually working on. And these are things that I do no matter what. So sometimes I wake up too late, then maybe because I slept late, and sometimes I don't, but then I have exercises that are 9 minutes that I can do in the middle of during the day. So I still to cover up my 30 minutes. So these are the things that I do no matter what. Again, think about your goal. Think about the things that you have failed at and say, what are the things that I need to do daily, consistent, that will put you closer to your goal, whatever that may be. But this thing that you are talking about that you're gonna do, you have to do no matter what. Come rain or shine, you have to do it. Number 5, go back and track as quick as possible. So always make sure. So what I do is that sometimes I think like today, I didn't start on time because I couldn't find my shoes. So what I ended up doing was actually starting doing the exercise with my barefoot, which I don't like. So I didn't have a full 30 minutes. So the moment I realized that, I then took another 30 minutes. While I was cooking, I was doing my steps. So I am tracking my steps as I stand right now. I have done 7,222 steps. I'm supposed to do how many per day? An average of 7,500. So again, guys, you have to track success. You have to track so that when you are seeing the results not showing up, you must know where did you go wrong. When you are not tracking your progress, the things that you are doing, you will not also reach your milestone. So, and you might need to adjust. I think when I started, it was 10,000 steps. Now it's actually, I've reduced it a little bit because I saw 10,000 steps was just way too much. I will get myself too tired. Change your perspective on what and how in terms of you, in what you're doing. Become what you want to be. Start living that life now. I know some of you entrepreneurs take this to another level. We say, fake it until you fake it until what they say, what fake until was something. But I mean, we take it to a level that act as if as though it's almost like they say fake it until you make it. Yeah, entrepreneurs take it just quite bad, you know. I remember seeing this guy who blew up 2 million and he was looking for some money for his socks business and stuff. Anyway, and I think sometimes we take this literally in a wrong way. However, this is what was meant. And if you maybe wanna understand this more deep, look at what James Allen teaches. James Allen is one of the good teachers that really teach things that really matter. So he says that when you are looking at your life and you are applying certain things, when it feels out of you, when it feels it's not part of you, you will therefore not attain what you are looking for. You must become the person who's worth the goal you are looking for. You want to be a millionaire? Act as though you are a millionaire already, but not through spending, because millionaires are not built from spending. Millionaires are built because they make the money, but they also keep the money. Okay, I'm gonna run through. I've already taken too much time. Okay, I'm almost done. I had promised I was gonna be on time, but I've run out of time already. Okay, take time to relax. Think about the bigger picture of things. I think Oprah was really right on that one. So now you have failed. This has happened. Okay, take time. Just relax. Just relax. Let it go. And I know this is not nice. You might need to cry a bit in others in some of this before you relax. But have a way of letting go of things so that it allows you to think a bigger picture of it. Make a plan of attack, but your plan of attacks must be better than the previous. Learn from your previous mistakes. Don't just come up with a worse plan. So one of the things that I did, I had set up my 10,000 and then I came back with the 12,000 steps. That just didn't work at all. So instead, when I went through my third plan now, which I'm on, I reduced it to 7 steps because I realized that it was never about the step, but it was about how effective was my training. Did I really focus on burning at least 1,000 calories in each exercise? And maybe I need to do HIIT instead of doing just comfortable exercises and so on. So high intensive HIIT is high intensive exercises. Okay, so what I am saying, the plan of attack must keep in mind the areas that you have failed in, and it must be doable, but it must also be challenging enough to push you to a point of having an ability to move closer to your goal. Commit to consistent improvement. Understand that days are not going to be the same. If the days are not going to be the same, it also means there will be days where it doesn't feel so good, but there will be days that you can push yourself to improve on what you have actually worked on. Try to work on improvement on weekly basis. Don't try to do improvement on day in, day out, because again, that puts way too much pressure. Your system is not yet on it. Act as if is very similar to number 6, which is you have to become. Own it up. Act as if means own it. Feel that you have achieved this goal, because when you feel it, you are going to follow through. You're going to get motivated. You're going to start acting as though you have it. Your belief system are also going to start changing. So if you want to have the savings, money have been saved, start pretending and feeling as though that money is in your bank account. I think those are one of the things that I did when I was saving for that 1.5 million. I honestly used to look at my bank account and just feel and think, you know what, I want to see that one. I want to see my account just having 6 digits, 6 digits, 6 digits. And I kept on saying it over and over just to remind myself. And that is why, guys, it's also important that having your goal with you all the time. Read it. I read it at least 3 times just to keep myself reminded of what I want and what would make me happy. I want to express this. Get up as quickly as possible. If you have failed, you didn't do as well, get back to it. The last 4 items, be willing to pay the price. There is nothing for mahala. There is nothing that you're going to get that is of a value that is absolutely going to be free. There is something you're going to need to give up for your goal. The sacrifice. What's the price? Some of you are saying, I want the goal, but you are not willing to sacrifice. And if the goal is very important, you might actually have to give up everything from getting it. You might actually have to give up everything for you to actually get it, for you to attain it. And until you have listened to these billionaires and you listen to Elon Musk's video, oh, guys, my heart was like, oh, Lord, help us. We as entrepreneurs sometimes we think sacrificing all this is just maybe is too much. It's not. People have sacrificed way too much for their businesses. We haven't, not as much. I personally have not. I've always been someone who's very much risk averse. Persistence. Persistence and consistent. The good thing, we even included a video for you to help you to focus. Listen to it. I think it's about 10 videos. There are courses, and also we have a little booklet to help you, which is going to help you to be focused. But from that focus, once you've got the focus, you then get to be consistent. Your action must be consistent. That is why creating checklists for yourself is also going to be very important, because it's going to take time to tip the scale in your favor. It's going to take time and persistence, and also just trying different things. That is why you're going to start looking at your life as though you are in a lab, so that you are able to change things. Don't be static. Change things that you want to change. Follow your dreams. Be willing to do the things that even if there's no one is with you or supporting, do it anyway. And do your best at all times, no matter what it is. And you're going to suck at it, guys. You're going to suck at the beginning of it. I remember doing my exercises in my yoga exercises. I was falling and falling, trying to stand on one feet. It's a mess, a beautiful mess. And I laugh at it now, but I think it's because I now understand that for me to learn to do those poses on the yoga, I had to actually have some sort of stability and practice. So do your best in practicing consistently. So guys, those are the things, and here are your bonuses. You're gonna have the 5 secrets to stay persistent and the power focus videos, and you will also have the ebook for those who love reading, not listening, and we also have the PDF, this presentation for you to go through. All I am saying to you guys, failing happens to all of us, no matter which level of life we are. And no matter which area of life it is, failure exists. We are human beings. Start understanding that is a given, but have a way of learning from those areas of the failures so that you can take that lesson to the next step. I've also added my favorite books that have helped me throughout. I mean, oh, these books, The Slight Edge is one of my favorite. I read it every year. Mastery by Robert Greene is all time. Steve Covey on The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Those are my favorite books when it comes to failure. So when I'm struggling, guys, you don't even need to read the summaries if you don't want to. You can actually just Google them on YouTube and listen to the summaries that are made there, or listen to their audiobooks. This information, guys, is free. It's absolutely free. Of course, it's going to cost your data, but it's free. So these are the areas where I got some of my notes and consolidated these things. And I am saying this that I've learned, I hope God helps you to realize your goal, but don't get stuck. Don't let failure stop you to become the best you can be. What you have right now, the dreams you have, you cannot even imagine what God has for you. You cannot imagine that our ancestors dreamed of us being where we are right now in our lives, but we are unable to actually just push through. Just a little bit harder, a little bit longer, and consistently be putting ourselves out there, because for you to fail, you must throw yourself in. For you to really have that setback, you have to actually be ready to expose, to risk things. And sometimes it's difficult to risk it all. Figure out a way on how you're gonna fall forward. I mean, fall forward or fail forward is more focusing on saying, if you're not gonna start being a property investor, maybe start by being maybe an estate agent. If you're not gonna be able to do that, maybe start running a website on property, or start reading books around that. So almost like you're trying to get tools and things to get you ready for a bigger picture, for a bigger role that you want to fill. Remember, the opportunities you have now are sufficient to get you to the next level. They are sufficient to get you to the next level. I also included Jack and Masker's videos there. So guys, have a look at that. Let me stop this. Okay, so I just want to say to you guys, just remember that there is a bigger picture here. The failure maybe that you could be facing is just a small, tiny bit. When you start looking back in your life, 10, 15 years, it will almost just almost like it's a dot in your life. But sometimes it feels so overwhelming. So you're gonna need to understand that for you to make it, for you to achieve the goal and to become the best you can be, you're gonna need to let go. You're gonna need to let go of what people will say and what people will think. It doesn't matter what they will say and think. You have to live your own life. Number two, you gotta also start honoring yourself, loving yourself and the goals you have set, falling in love with yourself and respecting yourself more than the indulgence, more than using emotions to drive things that are actually just things that are meant to drive certain emotion. So I think also when you begin to analyze the things, the reasons why you are acting in a certain way, let me just share a story. I know some of you want to go because I said until 17:30. When I was struggling with weight and food and not exercising, exercising was not bad because I was an athlete. Even when I was at school, university, even at high school, I was runner. So that was not a big struggle. My biggest struggle was food. I realized that I had used food as a comfort to give me a security. And because I was using food as a security, as some sort of a comfort, and no wonder it was difficult for me to let go of it. Why? I grew up poor. At some point in my life, I ate in a dustbin. So when it comes to food, if I have more than 2-3 fridges, like the life I have right now, and there's all type of foods that you can think of, for a child that grew up without, I haven't changed much. My thought process and how I process things. I mean, poverty has a huge psychological impact, guys, on how we behave and do things. So I am sharing this story with you, saying that when I started doing an investigation and analyzing and looking at my actions and trying to figure out what was going on behind my actions, it was clear that I was using food to provide me a security that I will never be poor again. I was using it when I was not feeling good to make me feel good about myself. And I was also using food when I was feeling too good that I would celebrate with a cake from Woolworths. I mean, it's all these things that I just, anyway, what I'm sharing with you, when you become to be honest with what you are analyzing and what you are reading about yourself, what you are picking up, face it. Don't be afraid of it. Your past may not be as glossy, like me sharing this with you that I ate in a dustbin at some point in my life. It's facing that ugly truth. But with that facing that ugly truth allows me to be able to say, oh, then I am using it to give me this. Then I'm able to learn from that and say, I am not that child, that 10, 8 years old child. I do not think that I'm gonna run out of food. I do not think, because now I live in abundance. Now I live in a space where I know I will forever have. Then I do not have to rush the food. It's always gonna be there in abundance. So the certain mindset I had that I didn't know that poverty mindset was also influencing how I had a relationship with the food. So, and guys, as you're analyzing yourself and looking at things, use the examples that I have, that I've given you, to start looking at your life with pure honesty, and also looking at things. Look at affirmations. You can. Some of you said, Precious, I start things and I don't finish. Start setting up lesser, smaller goals. Maybe say, I'm only going to do 3 things, and let me do just those 3 things. And once you have finished that, have a way of celebrating, have a way of feeling better about yourself, having achieved those 3 things. And have also an affirmation that you are saying to yourself, or declaration where you are saying, I finished at the start. I'm a finisher. I start things to finish them. I complete things. So having those words in yourself, you will say them over and over a period of time. They change your subconscious. Over a period of time, they allow you, because as you're saying it in your mouth, your heart, your ear, you are hearing it, you are feeling it, it then gets to be a norm in your life. Do not start a day without planning. Don't let the world tell you how the world is going to work out. Those who start things and not finish it. It's because you're letting the whole world disrupt your mind, disrupt your thought, disrupt your ideas of the things that you want to achieve. Have a set date of when you're going to do things. Get an accountability partner. Get to run with a team to help you, to follow up with you. Work with other people to assist you to achieve your goals. It helps a lot also to do that. I have also found that working alone also helps in other instances, but in other instances it doesn't. So guys, I am looking at the comments you guys have made. Thank you so much. And you know what? Mpo is saying, thank you, Sis Precious. You came in my life at the right time. I'm new in business world. Thank you. Oh, okay, guys, please subscribe on our YouTube account. We're gonna post, we're gonna have a series of several content in the next few months. I am here to support you. I am sharing the practical things that have worked for me, the things that God is also allowing me to experience, but also indicating that our past is not our future. Our future are based on the decisions that we are making today. And those decisions is taking action and not wait for something to happen. Thank you so much, guys.
Most precious.
Hello, Sis Paula, how are you?
I'm great. Before you go, regarding food, because I know that I'm an emotional eater. For example, today there was the drama happened, and the next thing I went to, and when that happens, I even eat from the pot. So in your case, at that moment, when drama has happened, and when your emotions are saying, go and eat, what do you do? What do you do?
Okay, so my technique, I drink a warm water, a lot of it. So in the morning, my one meal, the reason why I'm actually able to manage is because I've tried different things. So I drink 2 liters of warm water in the morning. That takes me around 9:30. Now, when there's an emotion thing, what I then do, I take the water and add apple cider vinegar. That just like makes me feel like vomiting instead of eating. So you gotta need to come up with different things. I use lemon, I use apple cider vinegar. The other time I gave in on a chocolate, and I realized it was too close to reach. So get rid of the things that are tempting to you. Take them away. And when they're closer to the reach, when the emotions comes in, it's very easy to grab it. So I've just closed that in my family. As for food, so before I eat, I make sure that I drink as much liquids. Warm, cold, it doesn't matter. I just drink as much. And that has helped with the thingy. When I have emotions that I feel overwhelmed by it, I force myself to sleep, Ma'am Paul. I force myself to sleep. Sleep on it. Force yourself to just sleep. Rather sleep than eat. Because
I hear you.
Those emotions. So you're gonna come up with a lot of strategies. Some will work, some will not work. As I said, I gave in on the chocolate and it was so nice. But I felt horrible. It made me sick because my body is no longer used to taking so much sugar. So I felt sick. So I also think when you are eating the food, try to see if you can eat a healthy food. So what I do sometimes, I just indulge on the fruits. And just, if maybe that emotion comes in again, I just eat just the fruits or just vegetables and just eat, because even though I'm indulging, but it's a healthy indulgement.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
I miss you. I miss our sessions. Oh, yeah, we shall keep this going quite more often. Pastor Saga said you have such a positive impact on Outlook, and then for your valuable time, for very information. Oh, thank you, Pastor Saga. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all of it, guys. Thank you so much. God bless you. Remember, God, the universe, everything in this world is designed for you. So if you are failing, they are just directing you. It's just helping you to actually get better at things. But there's nothing in this world that is against you. Everything is for you. It's because maybe you are not ready for it, or maybe you are not there yet. Try by all means to become, guys, right? To become the person who's worth the goal that you are asking for. Thank you so much, and lots of love. I can see some are still trying to join. Guys, you will get it next time. We will see you in 2 weeks' time. We have a huge series of webinars we're gonna have. God bless you. Thank you so much. and keep on moving, keep on starting afresh, keep on looking at things. If you are not sure, share with other people. Make sure you share with people who actually have a good heart, who want the best for you. Thank you so much, guys. Lots of love. Thank you, Mandla, Zanele, Malebo. Oh, thank you so much for all your feedbacks. Goodbye, guys.
Thank you, Precious.
Thank you, Precious. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Precious. Have a lovely evening, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kosi.
I'm wondering who's saying cause no ongazing impela. Bye.